are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're going to pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get funky. Funkier than you could have ever imagined. You know, Richard Hart is a boss. Hex is literally the best thing on the planet. It's simple mathematics. Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all's deep. Everybody. My God. Hex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets me. Yo, when is it told you? Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy, what is it today? Wednesday? Oh, man, it's been a whirlwind of a day for me. Been busy since basically I woke up. So, the past hour and some change is probably the only time I've been able to just do nothing. I thought I was going to be able to stream earlier in the day today. And as you guys can see, 8 o'clock was the earliest I was able to get that even lined up, at least for Eastern Standard Time. So that's how my days go on occasion. So yeah, a lot of shit going on. Almost at the finish line in the top secret project that I'm working on, and it's very exciting because that means a lot of good things coming. All this pantomiming will end soon, and yeah, you know, I can't really say much more than that. But if you're an accredited investor, you know, hit me up on Telegram. Yeah. So that's item number one. Item number two. Now, as you guys know, it's a constant battle with these fuckheads, right? Oh man, we already got a super chat. Hold on, guys. Thanks for the super chat, Sir Edwards Trichrome. If you guys haven't heard my man LL's track, thank you, Richard Hart. You know, check it out. I'm sure you can find it on my Twitter. I've posted it. I would try to find the link, but I'm not gonna be able to because other shit I gotta do in the meantime. So just look for it in my Twitter because I did tweet it out. It's a pretty cool track. So check it out. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for the super chat again. Today we're gonna talk about the latest legislative assault on crypto. That's how my day started. So I've had to think about this shit all day. Markets are getting slam dunked on multiple fronts, right? We talked about this last time I streamed, I think, if not the time before that. And, you know, basically the next day they basically broke And this shouldn't shock anybody that's been watching me stream or whatever. I mean, I've been talking about this for a whole year. So it's just a matter of how long is it going to take before markets actually stop going down? Because this is going to be an elongated process, right? You've had capital flow one way for an extended period of time. So, excuse me. So that implies that going backwards, once you go reversion to the mean, that means you have to retrace some, right? Like it's not just a permanent perpendicular 45-degree angle line. Everything, nothing is assigned to work like hex. So, you know, it's pretty much that. I mean, that's one of those bits of insider information that if you're not a hexagon, you're not gonna have it. Period. Right? If you're not doing the homework, you're not gonna know that hex moves in a 45-degree angle. Right? I mean, that's literally what it does. Right? I mean, it's just a varying degree of 45 degrees, but it's moving up and to the right at all times. Right? Because what's happening now, I mean, if you can't tell, whole lot of selling, right? And this is the most selling we've had ever in Hex. And all that's doing is perpetuating a slingshot. Very simple, right? Because this is a truly decentralized instrument where people are taking action on selling their Hex. So they're committing to exiting their position. For example, some schmuck today literally sold, I think it was 2.5 million Hex, like in 2 clicks. $2.5 million worth of Hex. So that was like 11 million Hex or something like that. Somebody literally sold 11 million Hex in 2 clicks today. I mean, the prices. Hold on, guys. Jeez. All right, sorry about that, guys. Um, so you had a $2.5 million sale that happened in 2 clicks, which constituted approximately 11 million Hex sold. No liquidity, they say. I put that little image back in the upper right corner of the stream. You're right. I mean, that thing is real, right? I mean, it's there for a reason. I don't understand where people get these imaginary ideas. It's kind of crazy. I mean, the chart's just right in your face, right? Hmm. How about that? I didn't even know because I didn't even bother to look that hard. I mean, somebody selling that much of anything in a couple clicks, knowing the dollar value, is not a person that you want to even bother wasting your time looking into. But I'm glad you did because I didn't know that, and that's interesting information, right? I just lends the analysis to understand what that individual is doing, right? And that's called not being smart. So yeah, precisely. So these are the kind of things we gotta look at when we're experiencing sideways price action that's not strictly vertical, right? When you have a plethora of individuals that are hell bent on exiting their position in really immature form, right? Because this is the thing. Like selling the hex isn't an issue. It's how it's being sold that's the issue. And I think that that's what was hard for people to wrap their head around, right? Because we have to remember that when you're buying and selling hex, you're buying and selling in a hallway, right? So what that means is that the hex that you're buying is literally the only hex that's being sold. It's not just some magical pool of hex you can just go pick it up and get what you want from, right? It's literally, this is what I want to buy. Is it available? Yes or no? And the market will let you know. And then it will let you know the price. It's not just there for the taking. And I think that this is very, very lost on people because all they have to do is type in uniswap.org or whatever the fuck, right? Go to the DApp, right? Connect their little wallet, plug in Hex, and they're done, right? Like they can buy to their heart's content. But what they're not taking into account is what's actually happening in the background, which is what actually matters, right? And what actually, oh, hold on, because I think this dude like killed this link. And what actually matters is what's available for purchase. So right now you got 57 million plus 53, that's 110, 121, 127 million total in the liquidity pool. So right now there's a lot of hex available for sale, right? And then when you look at what's available just over here on V2 ETH alone, just for the Hex ETH liquidity pool for this market, 814 ETH worth, right? 10.5 million hex. I mean, there was one point in time where there wasn't this much hex here. So these are the kind of things you got to take into account when you're trying to understand what a market is doing, right? You have a lot of funky activity going on over here. I mean, let's just look at what's going on here. Let's take a look at this 610 minute bars. Okay, and then let's take a look. Matter of fact, let's go all the way out. 987 minutes, which is not quite a full day. But let's look at the most recent run, right? From the beginning of the bull run in July to the most recent Bitcoin top, 69,000, November 10th. Okay, this is when it happened. Been straight down ever since. We're only a hop, skip, and a jump from losing all of the gains from this period in time. So this is what happens when you own something that, what are you getting from just holding anything, right? And I mean, these are the kind of things you got to really seriously think about, right? Because just being able to say you own something isn't really a strategy for making money. Like, I'm sorry. I am not the kind of person that is into pop culture. So that's just not a fucking strategy for me. Um, so I'm not gonna buy something just because other motherfuckers own it. I don't care who owns what. I care what it is, what it does. Does it work? Is it really worth my money? That's what I care about. I don't actually care if somebody else owns something. Um, so that's actually a little pro tip for all of y'all that like, you know what I'm saying, spamming fucking these bootleg influencers that are just paid shills for the fucking state. Those people are never gonna promote Hex. So just stop wasting your fucking time. Seriously, just stop. It's embarrassing, actually. It's embarrassing for me because I fucking know better, and I sure as hell know I come on these streams and tell y'all better. So behave better because it's fucking horrible. I mean, go get you some Grimace coin. You know what I'm saying? Do something productive with your time. I heard that shit went up like 285,000%. Just because McDonald's mentioned that shit in the tweet. I mean, how funny is that? Right? That's what constitutes value creation or value perception. Right? And these are the kind of things we got to really keep in mind. Really got to keep in mind. All right, just because I'm tired of this fucking question, I'm gonna start by saying that I hope that by the time they figure it out, they're paying 3 to 4 to 5 figures for our shit because fuck them. And number two, they are not just capable of buying crypto because it exists. They're legally bound by documentation with what they can do with their capital. So it just doesn't work that way. So you guys can stop asking that question because it just is never going to work that way. So you're welcome. Notice that anytime these Wall Street institutions do anything with crypto, there's a new name tied to the endeavor. It's not just JP Morgan is buying crypto. It's not the way it works. It's specific JP Morgan entity is buying crypto. Read, learn how to read. It's very, very important. I'm not joking when I say that shit. I know I sound very demeaning or whatever, but I'm I do it to be a dick on purpose because people gotta understand that that shit is very, very serious. Taking things people say some type of way ain't gonna do you no kind of favors. Listen, learn, and put into action because that's what's gonna get you paid. Not feeling some type of way. That shit ain't never gonna get you paid. Word up. So you keep lying yourself with that one if you want. Um, so for this whole bull run that we've seen from July to now for Bitcoin, it's basically over, right? 22% is all that's left in the tank. Let's see what was the peak from low to peak. 135%. So they've lost what 5-6 of their gains already in 112 days. Also, I guess it looks about split to me. Let's see, November 10 to now. Yeah, that's probably about 110 days. Oh, a little bit more than that. All right, 155 days. Oh, 177 days. I was counting the bars. My bad, guys. So 78 days. We're on 78. Day 78. Yeah, 112 days up to make 135%. Check this out. 112 days to make 135%. 78 days to lose 100% plus. Are we understanding how markets work? Or do I need to go over that again? Because that's a very important metric I just gave you guys. That's the most important metric you actually need to understand in terms of making money in the long term. How quickly can you make it versus how quickly you can lose it? These are the type of things that help you understand how to sustain your P&L for the long term, right? Because how do you justify removing capital that's generating gains to put it somewhere where it's not generating gains, right? So we're talking about literally, okay, let's make sure I measured it. Bottom, July 20th, top, November 10th. Okay. 135.5%. 112 days. Okay. 135%. 112 days. Now, from top to today, right now, 78 days. 48% lost from that gain. Right? But when you're looking at the chart, if you bought that low of 29K, it's only 6K away. So you know it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump before you lose 100% of your gains. And you still are 2 months away before even you come close to the holding period to make those gains. So this is the velocity with which money can be lost, right? After it's made. These are the kind of lessons that people don't take into account when they try to disrespect staking's superiority. Like, here's a case in point. Present moment in time. Not even historical. This shit literally just happened. From July 2021 to today. 112 plus 78 days. So that's 190 days total. 6 months. Motherfuckers made money for 112 days and they've been losing money ever since. Every single day, money lost. Not getting a cent, not getting compensated for their time. And they call this a store of value. And they lost that value that they made in what? 3/4 of the time? That's called a store of value? Really? Doubt that. So it's looking at these statistical measures that allow us to understand the true virality of an instrument, right? Versus its narrative, right? When it comes to Hex, there's nothing to discuss. We see what that shit's done over the past 6 months. In fact, let's see here. July 20th. So it's up a total of 132%. So that's what? 4x on Bitcoin, which is only at 22%. Its peak went all the way to 550%. And oh, wait, I didn't even check the days. You made them 155%, 550%. Hold on, guys. So you made 550% in 61 days, which is ridiculous. Oh my God. And as of right now, you've lost 64% from that high. But guess what? You're getting comped at a rate of 40% APY if you're staked at least 10 years every single day. So even though price is letting you down, the fact is that the value mechanism effects is giving you that foundation for you to stand strong, right? Because over time, this is just the past 6 months. Over time, we know that things come and go, right? They go up and down. Nothing is linear. It's the same deal with Bitcoin, right? When we look at the long term picture for Bitcoin, we understand that this didn't happen overnight, right? This is from 2013 to now. I mean, if you want to look at the whole picture, there's the whole picture. Just remove these, and there you go. Right? So, and we're just like right here. Right? We're probably, I don't know, somewhere in here, or maybe somewhere in, nah, we're probably somewhere over here. I don't know. I'd have to take I have to comp. But anyway. But point being, nothing is linear, right? And Hex does a pretty damn good job of being as linear as possible. So, I mean, just look at this chart. Let's look at V1. I mean, just look at V1. This is ridiculous. I mean, just look at this. There's no chart like this anywhere. Only time you get charts like these is when you create them. custom spread charts, right? Like nothing really trades like this, and this is something you really got to realize. I mean, let's look at crude. Crude is like the only thing that comes close, and everybody knows what happened to crude because it's a papered over market, right? So this negative price action is a function of the papering over of the commodity market, right? Like these are why these layered products that are not backed with by the actual product, the commodity or the physical commodity, the physical product in question are bad, because this is what depresses the value of the actual value proposition, which in this case is the commodity itself, crude, right? We go to 1 day, we zoom it out a little bit. You can see that crude's been running kind of like Hex, but the question is why? The U.S. at one point was one of the top crude producers in the world. So what the hell happened? Well, what happened is domestic policy basically put a kibosh on all the oil production that we had going on, in conjunction with uh, the dollar getting decimated, right? I mean, we all saw what happened in 2020. So this was a layup trade, right? I mean, I didn't take it, but it was a layup trade for whoever was aware of what was going on. And they crushed it, right? I mean, $22, May 2020, all the way to now. I mean, they crushed it, because what you guys don't know is that for every dollar in this market that the price moves, that's $1,000 per contract. So if it goes from 86.77 to 87.77, you just made 1,000. If it went against you by $1, you just lost 1,000. And that's how this market works. So people are holding it from 24 all the way to 84. That's 60 points. So 60 times a K, that's 60 racks, right? And that's just on one contract. So yeah, cats be making money out here. But these are the kind of things that you see, right, when a currency is getting debased, right? I mean, this is what Hex personifies, literally, because every day you're getting paid versus the inflation that exists every day. Like, this is important, right? Like, look at what happened here. Your cost of living just went up 4x, man. If you didn't ride this trade, your cost of living went up 4x. This is important to understand, because this is not a boon to you. Unless you're an oil producer getting paid for the barrels you're pumping out of the ground, you're not benefiting from this shit right here. If you're not long crude in either the futures contract or the physical aspect of it, this move here did not benefit you in any which way, right? Because we're not even producing it anymore on a mass scale as a country. So these are the kind of things that are important to understand. Nah, actually, oil production peaked during Trump's presidency. We surpassed 1970 levels. I'll find you the information so you can see. Uh, Oil production. Pretty sure of that one, because he went fucking ham on everybody for that one. Let's see. Yeah, see, this was during Trump's presidency. So, damn it, hold on. Yeah, there we go. So there you go. This is during Trump's presidency. This was right after, because Biden shut everything down. And this was the previous all-time high in the 70s. And then the embargo, and then hyperinflation in the U.S. So that's how that went down. But, these are the kind of things you got to really know to understand how to make the right moves, right? Because we're at a point in time where we can see literally what they're doing because they're not letting us know. Oh, word. Yo, you know what? Shout out to Motley and Agape Hex for hooking up the fundraising for the NASCAR race that's about to go down, Daytona 500. If you guys aren't aware, we are gonna have a car representing Hex Crypto for the race, which is great because a lot of people watch that race. Now, I'm not personally a NASCAR fan, but I do know about racing cars because I used to be a mechanic. So, and I used to be in the F1. I'm not in the whatever it is now, E1 or whatever the fuck they do. But people watch it. That's how people are gonna learn about this coin. People are gonna see this one hot pink, magenta, fucking orange tangerine thing just zooming around the track, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is that thing?" So it's gonna be cool to see the reaction from that day going forward. Because that's gonna be different because people are gonna look into this and they're gonna find regular people talking about it. They're not gonna find some fucking weirdos with no weird faces on thumbnails. So it's gonna be legit. It's gonna be legit to have working class people find this in their own environment. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Um, good luck to us because it's gonna be wild, man. It could be very wild. Let me rephrase. Because while they might not know how to talk, they know how to count, right? At least that's what I like to think of people. Uh, all right, let's go back to V2. But keep in mind this chart, guys, because this is how you understand how Hex works, right? Like Hex didn't go from 4 zeros to no zeros for no reason. Like this is why you can't hold no bullshit, right? Like I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. Like if you holding some bullshit like this, I mean you getting what you deserve. What's the point of holding this? Like who uses this protocol for anything? Subgraphs? How does that make any money? I don't understand the purpose of this. Like what? That doesn't need a coin. Why? It just makes zero sense, right? Like what's this for? Just because. I mean, this was also a joke, right? And these are the kind of things you got to keep in mind. I mean, come on, right? Unless you bought down here, you're not benefiting from any of this, right? And these are the kind of things you got to keep in mind, like for real. Like just look at this. This is the same time frame that Hex has been around now, right? So it's a shit coinathon out here, right? And they're not doing nothing, right? Unless they're fucking getting you to give them their money, they're not doing nothing. And you ain't getting nothing for holding on these ridiculous downtrends. I mean, just come on. Shit is insane, right? And Hex is just looking nice and tight. I mean, it's just chopping sideways, right? Because you got to remember, a lot of people like to forget. So let me remind y'all. Okay, that's a lot of X's, guys. Right? That's 156X right there in 280 days. So 120 days or whatever of sideways price action isn't really unwarranted, right? What is this? 133 days. So it's not really anything crazy, right? I mean, 100. I mean, this thing went straight up for almost the whole year. 280 days is only 60 days shy of 360 days, right? Or 40 days. No. 80 days shy of 260 days, or 360 days. So that's a crazy run. This selling, when you sit there and think about it and don't let the FOMO fuck your head up, it makes sense. You got a group of people that have been holding this coin for 2 years, right? And they just made 10,000x, 20,000x, 5,000x, whatever the X's are. They're four-figure X's, and they're gonna want to take profits, right? Even though apparently nobody makes money in this coin, there seems to be an infinite amount of liquidity for people to get wealthy from this coin to the tune of $2.5 million in 2 clicks earlier today. And that's going to keep the people that are entering the market anew joyous, right? Because they're going to get their cheap hex, man. Because guess what? Paying 50 cents for hex, it sucked. I didn't like it. I paid 50, 40 cents for hex, right? So now we got a nice abundant amount of hex floating around the market. It's nice and cheap. This is the time to strike, because I'm sorry to say, but we're not going to see 4 cents again. I would like to see it, but I don't think it's smart to wait for it because it's not coming. Why? Because there's been too much value paid out already in the system. Like too much value has been printed already, right? Like this system has been around for 2 years. um, and when this system first launched, it was 4 5 zeros, right? And people were holding these coins during that entire period of time when it had all those zeros. And during that entire period of time, the system was functioning, it was working as designed. So the value is embedded in that duration naturally. So this is important to understand. So these are the kind of things that make hex going down past certain price levels almost unimaginable to consider, because the value is real, right? Because as people exit the system day to day, and I literally had to, I got a little story to share with you guys. Oh yeah. Right after this, because it's good. So every day as people are exiting their stakes, right? That value has to be there. It's not imaginary. Like it can't be, because stakes get started every day, stakes end every day, right? Like every day they start and they end. So these are the kind of things you got to keep in mind, right? Like when people come at you with this funny talk about, oh, hex, you can't sell no hex, people don't make no money in hex. But how are people starting and ending stakes every day? And how are they cashing out every day? People literally sell billions of hex every week. Literally, billions of hex every week. They're minting millions of dollars every week from this protocol. The notion that people can still say hex is a scam is like hilarious, right? Like that, I can't even entertain that shit anymore. It's not even funny. It's disgusting. It's sad. You got people minting millions of dollars weekly, daily, daily, right? Probably billions monthly, and it's all on the blockchain, and people are acting like they're blind. I don't understand, but it happens, and these are the kind of things that are crazy. So let me tell you guys something. I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. Story time. So I'm having a conversation about that thing I'm working on that I can't really talk about, and I am talking with a third party that provides support services. And long story short, I basically blacked out on who I was talking to because they referenced CoinMarketCap as a source of information for pricing of all things, pricing of all things, pricing of products of all things. And I damn near had a motherfucking heart attack. I mean, I tore this guy's fucking head off. I felt kind of bad afterward, but it's his own fucking fault for not doing his due diligence. So, fucking do better, bro. Like, wow. I had to tell this guy, yo, do you even know that they're getting fucking sued for misinformation because they misrepresent data? Like, these motherfuckers out here, like, you guys don't understand how early we are. You guys don't gotta understand how early we are. I mean, when so-called professionals in the field don't even realize that they're using bad data sources, that's how you know we're fucking super early. That's how early. Either crypto isn't going to be around in 10 years or that's how early we are. Still. So, yeah, I fucking flipped. I flipped. Yeah, that shit was. I was like, yo. I told the motherfucker straight up, hey, y'all should know them motherfuckers are getting sued. Because investors like their money being counted accurately. So, you might want to reconsider your information sources. Straight the fuck up. Get out of here. Fucking clowns. Anyways, I squared their asses away and put them on the right information source for Hex because that's what matters to me. Uh, not worried about bootleg websites and ain't got no value to add. Anyway, but yeah, I figured I'd share that because that was pretty funny. Uh, Kylie was having a joke, a laugh at that for sure. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so that's what happened today, right? I mean, people just playing themselves out here in these streets, man. Look, you need to understand that just using something because somebody else doesn't make it okay. You need to know what you're using. Everybody else using it isn't an excuse. Straight up. Because imagine all those clowns relying on that shit of a site that doesn't represent information accurately, and they all missed out on Hex. All of them. All of them. There's millions of people out there like that. Millions. Oh, actually, billions. I'm sure billions of people visit that website. So take that into consideration the next time you get upset about that shitty ass website not listing Hex. We don't need that shitty ass website. Clearly do not need that shitty ass website. Fucking disgusting. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Nah. No. No way. No way. So that's what's actually going on in the streets. People using horrible information for pricing products. So you don't even know what you're paying for out there most of the time because you got institutions operating off of bullshit. And this is the kind of crap that I try to tell you guys, that I try to teach you guys, right? I mean, imagine, imagine being, imagine selling this and the price is off 10%, meaning you could have made 10% more. Just because the front end you used the price that was off. Do you understand how much money people spend on Wall Street to get the right fucking price? And here you got crypto trying to interject all these fucking middlemen to give you these delayed ass prices. I'm gonna tell you guys something. All you people out there getting ready for PulseChain to drop, I'm gonna give y'all some good advice. Understand how markets work and be mindful of where you put your private keys because there's going to be a lot of temptation and there's going to be a lot of motherfuckers pointing their pockets at hexagons. Why? Because hexagons got money. Hold on, because I got some noise in the background and these fuckers don't stop. So like I was saying, be cognizant of where you're putting your private keys because you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know how to read code, if you don't know how to determine what a good project is, if you're the kind of person that just found Hex and got lucky, and you don't actually understand what Hex is and why it's so good and why it's so secure, etc., then you need to learn because you don't want to lose your pulse. You don't want to lose your pulse X. You don't want your Hex to get hacked, your stakes. Like these this is a real conversation because I'm seeing too much hype around stupid things. So think about it. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Um, but yeah, like seriously think about it. Because I don't want to see people getting their, shit 0 day attacked. I don't want to see people getting hacked for thinking they were putting their connecting their wallet somewhere and it ended up being somewhere else just because they were so hyped. Like, just, slow down, guys. I know PulseChain is taking a while. um PulseX, you guys got to understand what's happening. All these things are taking a long time for a very good reason. In fact, the longer it takes, the more bullish it is. That's something you got to take into account, because what that means is that's literally building up, creating pent up demand. Now, what is that? Think about it like this. Um, well, it's basically a slingshot effect as well, right? Because you're just creating all this buying tension because people cannot buy this thing that they want. You get it? Everybody wants PulseX. Everybody wants PulseChain. They can only get PulseX. Eventually, they're gonna be able to get PulseChain, but it won't be until the bridges are open to them to be able to access PulseChain. And these are the kind of things like. So one thing I want you guys to take into account, because I'm noticing there's a lot of new folks watching. Value is not a switch. Value transferring is not on a flip of a switch. So what happens is like value goes from A to B to C to D all the way to Z, right? No matter where it's starting and where it's going, it has to go through each mechanism where it has to represent itself. Okay? So what does that mean? Let's say somebody's trying. It's just like actually when you're looking at the routing for a trade in any DEX, right? You see it has to go through all those routes. Money doesn't, that's exactly how money works. Exactly like that. It has to go to where it has to go. Otherwise, it was never there, and that money isn't going to make it to where it's supposed to go. And these are the kind of things that are very hard for people to grasp, because people think money just goes from A to B. But no, it goes from A to Z because it has to go through all those intermediary points to connect before it actually touches Z. Very important to understand, because this is how we are able to track capital flows in our head, right? Like, how am I able to see all this shit before it happens? And it's simply because I understand how money moves. That's all. Anybody can learn this. There's no secret to this. You just gotta sit there and watch the markets and understand what's driving them and what's not. And it's just a flow of currency. Nothing further. Nothing further. Now, we had some pretty big events go down today. Uh, we had the Federal Reserve keep interest rates the same. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys hear about this shit? Neil Young trying to threaten taking his music off, or no, his music got taken off. What happened was he was like trying to tell Spotify to take Rogan off or some shit like that. I don't know, some dumb shit like that. Whatever pop culture crap. Anyways, so the Fed literally stepped in a big pile of shit today, and I have the chart to prove it. So give me a second. Let me find a nice little article from ZH here on the Fed that I'm looking for, and we will go right to that chart. Oh yeah, this is fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. This shit is real. Okay, this is not fake. This is real. This is shit that's legit happening. I mean, come on. Come on. Oh boy. Oh yeah, so you guys understand that this is being driven purely by headlines. This US Russia Ukraine thing. There's nothing actually happening. Russia isn't trying to do anything. Uh but it's gonna react to what it sees in headlines. What else is it supposed to do? All right, yeah. So here we go. So this motherfucker is behind on rate hikes. And what does he do? Not hike. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at the charts. Now is when we look at the charts because it's causing problems. Problems to the tune of 1+% now. So the Fed funds rate is a meager 8 basis points, 0.008%. Now, the rate should be at least 1%. So it's literally 1% behind where it's supposed to be. Well, now, what I want people to understand is that this is not intentional. Okay? How do I know this? Who am I? What kind of magic crystal ball do I have that tells me that this is not intentional? Why would the so-called unelected bureaucrats that are there to apparently make our lives better, which I can't seem to tell that they're doing a good job at or not. I don't know about you, but in my eyes, they seem to be doing a pretty shitty job. Um, they're just not doing what they're supposed to do. And we have the data to prove it. And the market reacted in line with that reality. How do I know? Well, let's take a look here. This is today. This is yesterday. Or I'm sorry, this is tomorrow's candle. This is today's candle for the day that just passed. I mean, 14% on this spread is pretty freaking crazy. 5% the day before. Because the market was already pricing in no hike. Right? I mean, look, you guys got to understand. It's like I've been telling you guys for a long time. You got to be ready for these things to happen. There is no warning shot. Um, they told you what they want to do, right? The Fed says it will soon be appropriate to raise fund rates. Well, as we can see, they decided to do nothing. They kept them there flat at 8% at 0.08. The Fed says asset purchases will end in March. So it's a good idea to take into account. Now let's look at euro dollar spreads. And euro dollars, again, are the interest rates that represent the money being held overseas, the dollars being held overseas. Okay. Now, what we're looking at here is this is bullish, right? The reason this is bullish is because this is supposed to represent an actual interest rate. So it should be 100 minus 99.5. So it's 50 basis points in essence. Let's see if I can get this thing to work because sometimes I'm retarded. There we go. Okay. So this is bearish, excuse me, because the rate is going up. Duh. sometimes you got to put things in the proper perspective before you can speak about them properly. Because rates were at zero, right? Meaning it was essentially not beneficial to hold dollars. They wanted you to spend them. That was basically how they were forcing people to spend dollars, right? And this is what they've been doing all along to savers, basically taxing them for owning dollars. And now it's kind of like we were talking about before, right? Imagine the cost of business being 14 basis points and all of a sudden it's 0.5%. I mean, it basically 4x on you, right? I mean, that's insane. 2x right here, right? I mean, that's expensive, right? That's real expensive. So for your payout to go out that to go up that much, like your bank is gonna feel that, right? Your bank is gonna feel that. And thank you for the super chat. And sorry that I spent so took a long minute to get. Tried and told you have a friend with too much time in his hands, and he started leverage trading on BTC, waiting for PLS. 30 minutes and boom, liquidated. See, yeah, I mean, look, man, these markets can get you liquidated in literally 3 seconds. All you gotta do is put in the wrong order at the wrong time, right? Literally. And in fact, let's look at an example because something happened today just like that. Let's take a look. Now, right before the Fed came out, this is on UTC time. You can see the market was trading 44.13. All right, each tick is $12.50. Each point is $50. So if you got short right at the end of this bar, end of this candle, the market immediately went against you. Let's go to a minute candle. I want people to understand. Okay. Is it? I think this is it. Yep. All right. So this is when that candle closed right before 2 p.m. 44.13. 2 p.m. candle opens. What happens? Immediately upward against you. 20 points. 22 points. Immediately. 22 times 50. You could do the math. Right? That's a G off the rip. A whole rack out your account. Boom. And it went all the way up to 44.46 from 44.13. Right? So that's a 30-point hit immediately. Because in futures markets, there's no waiting to the end of the day. That shit is getting tick-tock to your account right off the rip. So 30 times 50 is 1,500 bucks. Boom. And literally 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So these are the perils of trading around events, right? I mean, whoever trades around events, they better know what the hell they're doing because they're gonna fucking pay if they get that shit wrong, right? And that's just the nature of the beast. 35 points, boom, 2 minutes, 35 times 50, right? Just to give you guys a dollar value of the pain, 1750. That's a damn rent. That's a damn rent. So these are the kinds of things you gotta take into consideration when you think about trading. Right? It's fun, but do you know what you're doing? No. Are you willing to take the pain? Yes. If so, knock yourself out. If not, well, think about it because it's painful. And that's one way of looking at how painful it can be. I mean, 1750, that's a rent. And it don't cost you 1750 to put these trades on. That's the thing they don't tell you. To put that trade on could cost you 400 bucks. That's it. So, these are the kind of things you got to take into account. So, anyways, market's down, right? Today was a Fed day. This was the candle. As you guys can tell, market did not like it, and the continuation after the so futures are open basically 23.5. They close for an hour a day to let the markets reset computer wise, and then they open them again. And then they close Saturday, Sunday, unlike crypto. So it's 23.5. Okay. Um, and as soon as the market opened tonight, had a little pop, and it just rolled over, man. Know what I'm saying? Like, nice little pop on the open right here. Filled that gap, and murder she wrote. Question is this really the hit? Is this it? I don't know. We need to see what happens with these trend lines. These are the best answer givers, right? Like we're right around an area of support. It doesn't seem like the market kind of wants to stop right now. But we will see because this is an area of interest. Let's expand our time view. Let me go to 3 days. We've reached those levels. Let's go to 5 days. We're breaching those levels as well. And again, these lines are based on reality, what's actually happening in the market, and that's why I use them. I literally spent years designing them just for that. And they speak truth to power of what's happening in the market. So if the price, for example, since this bar has 4 days left, right? 4 days, 19 hours, before it prints entirely, right? Say the market actually gets bought up and it goes right back above the yellow line. Well, what happens is that these lines collapse. They go back to where they were because this bar didn't finish there. So these lines are dynamic. So if you see that they're ever snapped, you got to realize that you got to wait for that to actually print. Just a little side bar there. 8 days, we're getting there. And that level is 41.55 and 42.53 respective colors. So that's what's going on. And I mean, in these levels, right, as you guys can see, like they're lining up with these profiles to be kind of significant. Right. Like in like these are the kind of things you want to spot, right? When you're looking at markets, whether you're speculating or not, like these are the kind of things you want to spot because you want to be able to give yourself the most risk adjusted point of stance, right? You don't want to just buy up here just because the market's going up. That doesn't make sense. And it's easy to get carried away, right? It's so easy to just think that, and it happened to all of us with Hex. So it's so easy to get carried away. But we gotta realize it don't work like that, right? And this is why people buying into this negative momentum. I mean, they're feeling the pain right now, right? So these are the kinds of things we gotta keep in mind. Now, if we go out to 21 days, that's basically a month, right? We got a long way to go on a monthly basis before we actually see what's going on. And as you guys can see, on a monthly basis, trend pretty much holds okay. Except for 2018, 2017, pretty much held okay. Right, it snapped the line here a little bit, then went up, then Rona dip. But besides that, it's kind of just been holding the line all right. Um, and this is the S&P 500. I'm here thinking I'm looking at Bitcoin, but thank you for the super chat, Crypto Gammy. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in and hearing me babble. I'm just letting you guys know what's going on, what I'm seeing, and maybe you guys find some value in that. So thank you guys for watching. Yes, please hit those likes. Let people know that Hex has a community of real people that are looking at real things and not just shilling you the next coin that might or might not dump, which more than likely will dump because that's what they all do. I mean, you guys got to realize something. Excuse me. Gotta drink some water. Um, I think it's important you guys realize that 99% of the coins out there are just there to hold a spot. So you have to be very careful of what you're putting your money in. And the reasoning behind it. If you're taking advantage of price, perfectly fine. I completely can sympathize with that. Makes 100% sense. And thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it, Miles. Um, right? Like if you're trying to make money elsewhere, I get it, but you got to understand what you're doing and be okay with that decision that you're making. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with speculating, but understand that that's what you're doing. That's my point. There's nothing wrong with it. But, and these are the kind of things that they help you mature, they help you grow because they help you make more money, right? When you can, like, for example, for me, I can trade comfortably now because I don't have to figure out what I'm gonna do to pay the bills. I mean, my bills are taken care of. Now I can take my money and do what I gotta do. So Hex is giving me the ability to earn that peace of mind because my retirement is taken care of. I don't gotta think about that shit no more. And those are the kind of things you gotta keep in mind. What coin or investment is giving you that positive attribute? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you thinking? What investment gives you any types of attributes outside of just money, right? Like, those are things you got to keep in mind. Like, that sets Hex apart in big ways. Look at this 1 year interest rate. The last time it was this high was on the way down during the Rona crash. And before that, 2016, folks. Freaking 6 years ago, basically. 5.5 to be conservative. But this is what's going on right now. So, interestingly enough, what's been happening under the hood is that you don't see credit markets really being affected by this. Now, the question is why? Well, you got to realize, and the reason I mentioned in credit markets is because that is where the real volatility presents itself. That is where it really comes from, right? The credit markets are an extension of what businesses are doing in real time in terms of capital, what they're borrowing, what they're buying, what they're selling, all these things, right? This is why the credit markets are important. Um, Thank you for the super chat, this spook. Favorite strain? I guess like Gorilla Glue is probably my favorite, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Gorilla Glue. But whatever's good is good for me. I ain't picky. I'm just living. Um, but these are the kind of things, right, that you guys got to realize. This is gonna hurt somebody. This is gonna affect some pain somewhere on someone in some way, shape, or form. The question is, where is the economic pain gonna be felt? I mean, look at this. All the way to going back down in 2008, this interest rate had not been seen. This is insane. 1 year, you're not even getting 1% on your money. What the fuck? Like, think about that shit. There's gotta be something wrong with that. Something is wrong with that, people. 2 year interest rate. Same damn thing. What is going on here? Right? Like, nobody notices this, and if they do, they don't understand it. And that's where it ends. Yo, like, come on. Right? Like, this is why we got to have these kinds of conversations with our family and friends, explain crypto to them, you know, because it's not even just about Hex anymore, right? Like it's bigger than just Hex. Hex is just the only crypto. That's all. But you gotta just break them in. You know what I'm saying? One step at a time. Explain to them why crypto is the shit. Why, money is hard. All these things that you hear us talk about, that we talk about time and time again on stream. You know, try to understand them. Try to internalize these messages. Ask questions. We're here to answer them. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the kinds of things that are really going to make the transition for, because again, we choose what we want to determine our value to be counted. We choose that. Not some third party intermediary that thinks they get to. They don't choose shit. You choose what your value is stored in because you work for your value. Not some random motherfucker that spends their existence trying to extort you for your existence during your existence. So these are the kind of things you got to really keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? Please keep in mind. Because these are, I mean, come on, man. 2 years, 1.18%. 5 year, 1.7%. Same deal, right? Rates you ain't seen in forever. Come on. Like, this is crazy. Well, this rate, I remember you did see it for 2 years. But that's because they pinned it there. And then they started raising rates. The 5 year was part of this twist operation back then. I don't know if people are even going to know about that. So it's not really important. Uh, but these are the kind of things, man, that we got to understand. I mean, 10 years. Who the hell is going to give anybody money for 10 years for 2%? 2%. All right, not even 2%, 1.5%, whatever it is, man. Like, come on. This is just. Yeah, just ridiculous. So when you take all these different things into account, all this crap, right? And then check this out. This is the latest assault on crypto, okay? Latest legislative assault. And these are the kind of things we got to know because we're the ones at the front of it. So let's talk about this. And of course, they're trying to rush it, right? What else is new? Another must pass bill, another rush policy that severely damages the privacy and constitutional rights of cryptocurrency users. We've just seen language in this bill, America Competes Act of 2022. See page 1482. And just something I gotta mention. I'm pretty sure everybody's noticed this by now, but notice that any bill that has a positive name is always negative. So, and that's pretty much every bill. So, page 1482. Is that what they said? 1482. Let's see. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network is the financial intelligence unit of the United States tasked with safeguarding the financial system from so called illicit use, combating money laundering, and its related crimes, including terrorism and promoting national security. Oh my God, man. Yo, look, this is the kind of dumb shit I gotta fucking do at work, man. So when I have these conversations with like people I work with and I bust out the statistics about the incidence rates of these things that these faggots are supposedly doing, you guys gotta realize that that fucking rate is 0%. Okay? It's 0%. So this shit is literally just set up to be an invasion of your motherfucking Fourth Amendment right. That's it. That's all this shit here is. Moving on. Per statute, FinCEN may require domestic financial institutions and financial agencies to take, quote, certain special measure. I'm sorry. To take certain quote special measures end quote against jurisdictions, institutions, classes of transactions, or types of accounts determines to be of primary money laundering concern, providing the secretary with a range of options such as enhanced record keeping that can be adapted to target specific money laundering and terrorist financing, and to bring pressure on those that pose money laundering, hold it, threats, people. Now, here's the fucking thing. Here's the fucking thing. Who is determining these concerns? And let me tell you guys, I work in the business and I can't answer that fucking question. Okay. And who is determining these threats? What is the threat? Who is threatening what by clicking a button and saying buy or sell? I mean, this is a straight up motherfucking scam. Okay? This is a straight fucking scam. And this is the shit that nobody is paying attention to. This is the shit that motherfuckers need to be watching. This is the shit we all need to be watching. Right fucking here. Not TV. This shit here. Because this shit here is what ends up costing us like a motherfucker. I mean, this shit here is just comical. I mean, we're not even 2 pages into this shit. You know, like, this is just the second statute. This shit is comical, man. Like, we're not even fucking in. Like, this is just the surface. How much worse does this get? I don't even know if I want to know. This shit is hilarious, man. All right, let's keep seeing how stupid this gets. The Special Measures Authority was granted in 2001, that magical year. Isn't it funny how everything just magically lines up? It's like I'm in a trance. Somebody snapped me out of it. It's been going on for 20 plus years. When will it end? Yeah. Yes, Patriot Act. That's right. If you don't know what this is, then you're part of the fucking problem, in all honesty. The link? Sure, I'll pull the link in here. Here is the link to the bill. Here's a link to the site where I got this information from. And I mean, these are the kind of things, right, what most people find boring. I get it. But you know what? This is why everything fucking sucks now. Because motherfuckers want to find everything boring instead of fucking focusing on the fact that all this shit is exactly why everything fucking sucks. And it's more important than anything you think is not important. Or it's just the most important thing, period. Just fucking period. Because it is. Right? I mean, this is the future that we're all banking on. Right? People are retiring based on the value of this present value of this fucking shit. And look at the shit they're trying to do. I mean, we haven't even gotten to crypto language, people. This is literally just the second paragraph. We're only getting to the third one. I mean, this is how crazy it is. Right? Like, this shit is wild. The Special Measures Authority was granted in 2001, when most cross-border transactions occurred through correspondent or payable through accounts held with large financial institutions which serve as intermediaries to facilitate financial transactions on behalf of other banks. So basically, big banks were helping the little banks or all the other banks. That's all that that's saying. So that was just one long ass sentence to not even say anything. Next. Innovations in financial services have transformed and expanded methods of cross border transactions that could not have been envisioned 20 years ago when FinCEN was given its special measures authority. So now we must pull our heads out of our asses and find a way to take more money from the plebs because we have missed out on millions, if not billions, of taxable dollars. So we gotta find ways to get them now. And thanks for the super chat, bro. Appreciate that. I mean, I'm just really having a ball. But this shit is so dumb. I can't believe they really think this shit gonna pass. Because this shit is dumb. Right? Like, any moron reading this is just gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. Because this is, I'm still not even getting to any of the crypto. Like, we're just like sniffing the crypto now. Yo, this shit is hilarious, man. All right, let's keep reading because this shit is only gonna get funnier. Okay, I mean, these motherfuckers just basically stated we need to renege because we ain't see this shit coming. Yo, come on. Yo, right? Right? Non-congressional advice, right? Yeah, I clearly could never be a politician. I know how to read, bro. I can't. I don't think I could ever just sign some shit. Oh, man. Yeah, literally, right? Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Let me light this bad boy over. Yeah, this is a good one right here. Oh man, yeah. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Any laws that get in the way, stop the pursuit of happiness, need to be abolished. I mean, that's really just it. And there's so many. All good. We get the point. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, let's keep reading how stupid this shit can get. These innovations, particularly through digital assets and informal value transfer systems, whatever that is, while useful to legitimate consumers, are also a boon for, wait for it, the bad actors, like sanctions evaders, fraudsters, money launderers, and those who commit ransomware attacks on victimized U.S. companies and which use the financial system to move and obscure the proceeds of their crimes. Oh my fucking God, this is such a crock of shit. Such a crock. Because nobody uses anything but cash. You know why? Because cash cannot be traced, motherfucker. Whereas crypto can. So, and anytime you put money in these fucking tumblers that are well known, like fucking, what's the name of this one? Tornado. All you're doing is raising a red flag, people. That is all. You're not being slick. You're not being smart. You're just raising red flags. Okay? Just so you know. Now let's keep seeing how stupid this is. Now, you guys gotta realize that these so-called ransom attacks are all bullshit, right? Like all of these things that you see on TV, 99.9% of them are false flags. I mean, they'll probably sprinkle a little bit of truth in there, technically, just to be like, oh well, that if that's true, the rest of it has to be true, right? Because people make that kind of simple reasoning sometimes, that type of simple deduction, which is dangerous. But here we are. Let's see, where were we? Ransomware attacks on U.S. companies requiring payments in cryptocurrencies have increased in recent years. What a coincidence! with the U.S. Treasury estimating that ransomware payments in the U.S. reached not 590 million in just the first half of 2021, compared to a total of 416 million in 2020. In July 2021, the White House, with support of U.S. allies, asserted that the People's Republic of China was responsible for ransomware operations against private companies that included demands of millions of dollars, including the 2021 ransomware attacks that breached Microsoft email system and affected thousands of customers, state and local municipalities, and government contractors attributed to a cyber espionage group with links to Chinese Ministry of State Security. Now, look, guys, I really want to get in depth on that seventh paragraph, but I don't want to get my channel deleted. So let's just go back to the simple fact that magically, all of a sudden, there's this preponderance of magical ransomware attacks that are popping up all over the interwebs. Now, we all realize that they're talking about companies, right? Organizations that conduct e-commerce business essentially, or some type of business that requires them to be online. So these are institutions that to some degree or another should have some type of cybersecurity, should they not? Well, I think the fair assumption is yes. Because if even we have to have some type of security in cryptocurrencies, well, shit, you best to believe a fucking institution that is tied to the internet and makes money off the motherfucker would probably need some. So, yeah, kind of how it works, right? Um, so how is it that these institutions get baited into these so-called ransomware traps so often? Isn't it so convenient? I know I'm getting close, guys. I know I'm getting close. But hey, they wrote it, not me. They wrote it, not me. Yeah, the Pentagon has lost so many trillions, it's not even funny. The first time I learned about them losing money, it was the 2 to 3 trillion that Rumsfeld and them lost literally on September 10th, 2001. So, yeah, whole lot of money missing, right? Magically. And people wonder why a fucking package of bread costs fucking $5 out there or whatever it costs. I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. So let's see here. Yeah, well, we all know that Brandon is in bed with CCP. So I think paragraph 7 speaks for itself upon who wrote this. So, yeah. Ransomware attacks organized by the Chinese and other foreign backed actors continue to grow. How convenient. They sit here and magically know that these people are apparently doing this. However, they are in bed with them and they're public about it. I mean, we connecting those dots, right? Good. So, ransomware attacks organized by Chinese and other foreign-backed actors continue to grow in size and scope, modernizing FinCEN's special measure authorities will empower FinCEN to adapt its existing tools to monitor and obstruct global financial threats and meet the challenges of combating 21st century financial crime. I mean, oh my God, guys. When you go and shop on eBay, you better watch out because they're going to be watching you now. You better buy the right things. It is getting fucking serious out there on the interwebs. Oh my fucking God. 21st century financial crime, guys. Digital assets and such. Holy fuck. I mean, this shit is such a crock of crap, man. What the fuck? Let's see. Striking. They're just filling their assholes here. I mean, that was so broad. That was crazy. That's all they literally wrote. Basically, be ready for a full out assault. What the fuck? Oh man, prohibitions are conditioned on certain transmittals of funds. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow, that was pretty fucking bold then. Okay, all right, motherfuckers. Hey guys, y'all better strap in because they ain't fucking around. So let's see. If the secretary finds a jurisdiction outside of the U.S., one or more financial institutions operating outside of the U.S., one or more types of accounts within or involving a jurisdiction outside of the U.S., or one or more classes of transactions within or involving a jurisdiction outside of the U.S. to be primary money laundering concern, to be of primary money laundering concern. I mean, this is the magical word here, guys, right? This is how we understand that this is a crock of shit. Okay. Whose concern is this? Are you concerned? You're the citizen. These laws are supposed to be written on the behest of your concern, not theirs. So whose concern is this exactly? Because I got to tell you, it's not my fucking concern. I don't know about you. So let's keep reading. The United States to be a jurisdiction outside of the U.S. to be of primary money laundering concern. The Secretary, in consultation with the Secretary of the State, the AG, and the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. Oh my God. That private entity, once again, may prohibit or impose conditions upon certain transmittals of funds. Now, you guys got to understand the SWIFT system is theirs. Okay. The dollar only travels on the Swift rails, doesn't travel on anything else. So the fact that they're being written in the legislation is essentially making this legislation null and void. And in reality, right, when you sit here and take into account what the Federal Reserve actually is, I mean, isn't it funny how this whole thing is a breach of all constitutional basic fundamental rights, right? Yeah, Russia has actually. Russia has moved away from SWIFT. Can't remember what other countries have. I think a few have. A lot of the world is de-dollarizing. A lot of people don't realize that. Um, and it's cool because by the time they do, it'll be too late. So it doesn't really matter because we've only been talking about it for years. So it's fine. Um, and look, I gotta tell you guys again, you gotta realize that these things happen slowly and then all of a sudden. Yeah, Iran is another one, but they don't count, right? Because they don't even have like a legit economy. I'm talking about like countries with like legit economies. Russia has a legit economy. Russia doesn't need, to deal with the U.S. That's a legit economy. So that's how I base it. Looking at it in dollar terms, right? I mean, that's clearly cheating because they don't have the same, like, nobody has that same cheating ability that the U.S. has. But everybody clearly omits the fact that the U.S. is broke. They have zero equity. Like their debt to equity level is fucking ridiculous. So how can anybody take the U.S. seriously? Because nobody takes debt seriously. That's why. So everybody's good, right? Everybody's on the same shitty merry-go-round in reality. So it's just a matter of what horse you want to get on. I mean, either way, just take the free money and run because that's where the world is right now. So let's finish reading this shit. So long story short, all these people, right, all these people can will be able to prohibit or impose conditions upon certain transmittable funds. As such term may be defined by them people in measure issuance by regulation or otherwise permitted by law to or from any domestic financial or domestic financial institution or domestic financial agency if such transmittal of funds, and this is the kicker, involves any such jurisdiction, institution, type of account, or class of transaction. Now, this is the kicker, guys. This is why everybody's homeboy Hayden Adams' account got basically shut down at JP Morgan the other day, in case you weren't aware. Personal account, right? If it just so happens that we get to a point where this nonsense passes and you ever receive funds from a Coinbase or some shit like that, they could shut your account down and get it removed and done. Due process, no due process required. Here you go. No warning, no nothing, right? Because if such transmittal of funds involves any such jurisdiction, institution, type of account, or class of transaction that may be prohibited, or a condition may be posed upon such that they don't want it to happen by regulation or as otherwise permitted by law. Like, these are the kind of things you guys got to realize are happening out here while you're not looking, right? So, this is why we got to be aware, man. I mean, this is fucked, right? This is something that they're trying to pass right now, right? Prohibitions or conditions on certain transmittable funds. This is the setup, right? This is the title. These are the findings. Congress finds the following. So this is the setup. So this is the setup for the knockdown. Then this is letting you know prohibitions or conditions on whatever that item is. Certain transmittable funds. So what are we going to set up to knock down? Right? These are literally how these things are written. And they don't hide, right? So in subsection A, in paragraph 1, by asserting after, end quote, Secretary of the State, end quote, may the following, blah, blah, blah. So here they just taking notes, right? Plugging and playing. But here, they're laying out what exactly they're going to ultimately put in this bill for transacting. Because if we look up this bill, let's see. See what we got. Nope, not what I was looking for. There we go. Yeah, see, it's only been introduced, order reported, on schedule, text published. So this hasn't even hit any of the tables or the desks yet. So still has to go through the House, Senate, and then get signed. So they're gonna try to shove this one down people's throats. So just be aware of what's going on. And yeah, man. One shot, one kill, right? Let's knock this one down because 4% chance of being enacted, according to whoever these people are. I mean, this shit is. I mean, we just read a small snippet, right? Like, you guys realize that. Like, we don't know how bad this actually is. We just read a certain part. Um, and this is how somehow things work in this country, where we all are basically felons, and we are federal felons, and we don't even know it because of all the laws that get passed under our noses, and we just don't have a clue, right? I mean, this shit happens daily, man. And this is why we at this juncture, those of us with the ability and the will and the resources to get involved need to get involved to change these structural inefficiencies. There's no reason a bill should have 2,000 fucking pages. Are you fucking shitting me? What are we supposed to fucking spend our whole lives reading to know how to live? This is fucking preposterous. Literally. Fucking preposterous. I mean, you fucking shitting me? Who has time to fucking read 3,000 pages? Right? And these are the kind of things we need to be aware of as a society, because where the fuck are we going if we keep relying on this type of shit? This is the type of shit we gotta fucking kill permanently. This is unacceptable. This is not the way people live. This is disgusting. This is the way grifters live. This is disgusting. Come on. Look at this. Creating helpful incentives to produce semiconductor chips for America Fund, right? You want to know why? Because these motherfuckers are creating this backlog. So, oh, fuck. Hold on, man. Basically, they're creating this fictional supply chain issue, which isn't allowing these semiconductors to be shipped to America or anywhere really. So magically, they now to get to set up this America Fund where they could basically steal more money. And let's see how much they get to steal. $24 billion. Nice. Is this accurate? Let me see. Let's see here. In addition to amounts otherwise available for such purchases, there is appropriated to the fund established in subsection A1. 24 billion to remain available until expended, of which 19 billion shall be for section 9902 of public law 116-2832. 2 billion shall be for yada yada. 2.5 billion for the whatever else, 500 million for whatever else, 7 billion to remain available for some other nonsense. And yeah, man, this is just what they do with your tax dollars. They just spend it for you. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't taking the time to read this nonsense, man, catch it before they put this shit in print for good. There's just no stopping it. You know, and I mean, this type of shit probably happens every week, if not daily. Because what else do these people have to do? They're literally paid to fuck your life up. So, I mean, think about it. Semiconductors are primarily used in what? Computer technology shit. What are cars nowadays? Fucking computers on wheels. What has been skyrocketing in price lately? The fucking cars. Whoa, what a coinky dink. Is it really? No, because now not only are they going to increase taxes on you because that's what they like to do, they're also going to take more money from you in this bill and give it to their homies. Because why not? The fuck else is there to do? Right? I mean, we're clearly just letting them. They can fuck. This is their playground. So they can fucking just keep doing it until we decide to not let them do it. I mean, this is basically where we're at. I don't know like how else to put it. I mean, come on. Semiconductor incentives? Are you fucking shitting me? Like, there was a point in time where you couldn't fucking sell a semiconductor chip. Like, come on, man. You're gonna say and tell me now they're all of a sudden missing? Sure. Sure. Whatever the experts say. Let's see. Research and innovation. Department of Energy Science for the future. Oh my God. I thought we were living in the future already. I must have missed something. Let's see how much they're giving away here. Let's see. Hmm. Oh, flux something. The term flux mean? Oh, they didn't know. That's cool. Good for them. They learned something while they wrote this bill. That's nice. All right, here we go. Out of funds authorized to be appropriated under subsection J, there shall be made available to the Secretary to carry out the upgrade under this paragraph 101 million for the fiscal year 2022 and 56 million for 2023. 157 million gone. How do you feel? All right, guys. I could keep doing this shit, so let me fucking not. Because this is how I end up knowing all of this nonsense that nobody else does. Because who does read this shit, right? Nobody in their fucking right mind. But yeah, this is the America Competes Act of 2022, where they actually don't want you to compete with the rest of the world. They just want you to be fucked and enjoying it. So yeah, don't forget about all the other cool stuff we talked about. PulseChain sacrifice or Pulse X sacrifice is still happening. Let's check that. $951 million presently sacked. And I guess we can go to Pulse X Lead to look at the whole. I think they look at BSC over there now too, right? Yeah. Because you got so many retards. They gotta put stupid signs like this. It's fucking incredible, man. Come on. So almost at a billion total between BSC and ETH. So yeah, man, major sacks here. Wild shit, right? So you know, once this new ecosystem launches, man, it's gonna be fucking crazy. Hey, sack rates are pretty good still, guys. I think you're getting about 4,000 coins per dollar still, or per point, or 4,000 points per dollar. So get your sack in there, or maybe like 5,000 something still. I can't remember the number. I'm sorry, but it's still a good rate. So don't wait too long. Take advantage because getting in at zero, there is no better price, and we're already off the floor at zero right now. So, and you guys got to realize the longer it takes for these products to get online to any kind of degree, the more pent up demand there's going to be for both of these items, right? Pulse Chain and Pulse X. So be advised, take advantage of time when you have the ability, right? You want to get things when you can, not when you have to, right? Imagine all the people feeling sick because they bought Hex up here. I bought Hex up here. I'm not happy about that buy, but it is what it is. And that's just how you remind yourself and you learn because over time we forget that things are not linear, even though they seem like it in present. And yeah, take that one with you. Make sure you get your sacks in. Make sure you respect your pocket, and if you're gonna be speculating, you understand how speculation works, right? What things mean when they happen. I mean, for a little period of time, we had Bitcoin and the dollar going down. And I'm sure that threw people for a loop because they couldn't understand what the fuck was going on there. And those are the kind of things that if you don't grasp the plumbing, it's going to be way over your head. You know what I mean? So these are why we go over these things so you guys can try to understand these little tidbits because they're important, guys. They're important. So you guys be easy. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for tuning in and thank y'all for the super chats and thank y'all for sticking through. I'm sorry if I missed any questions. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'll do a Q&A one next time. A matter of fact, I might stream with Naga tomorrow because he wants to promote his party thing, his mansion party thing. So I might do that in the afternoon time frame, and we can do a Q&A session then if you guys want, and we can talk about like charts and shit or whatever. So whatever you guys want, we'll do that tomorrow. You guys be easy. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, morning, no matter where you at. I'm gonna drop y'all with that banger. Peace. right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. That's it. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. Man, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep, everybody.